Well, let's start with a joke and something fun to lighten the mood. I don't want this video to be so solemn, even though in the second part I talk about something a bit complicated, but well, I think you'll understand. And also I wanted to make this video with you and from this moment on, not talk about the subject again. But let's start with this, which I found really funny. This is a report by Cristina Cubero from Mundo Deportivo in Budapest, where the Champions League final will be played this afternoon. By the way, we're going to be there live on Big Up. I encourage you to come. You have the link here in the description to enjoy the Champions League final with me in a relaxed way. And, well, you can even make predictions by clicking that link. Well, that's what was being said about two things. That bus of Enrique Riquelme in Budapest, I don't get it. I mean, it could have, let's see, it's a global information center right now. And, well, maybe it's just a little marketing move so that, hey, people talk about him a bit over there too. But honestly, I find it funny. And then it's like what Florentino did today with Ceferin. Seriously, well, look.
2 custom buses with a large image of Riquelme, candidate for Real Madrid's presidency, were just seen near the Puskas Arena, where the Champions League final will be held. 2 buses with a huge slogan, Riquelme for president, and Claudia, it really caught our attention.
Yes, well, Enrique Riquelme has just brought his candidacy to Budapest for a European final so that all the fans from around the world can see him, get to know him. With that slogan, Enrique for president, well, he's showing that he's going to put all his effort into that candidacy against Florentino. So I don't know.
Florentino Perez, president of Real Madrid, is here as Ceferin's guest. He says that he has arrived with a package that would prove that Negreira influenced Barca's fate in recent times.
Let's see. Who said he arrived with a package? You can all see Florentino, but Florentino also said that after the elections, he'd have to be asked about that too. So if Florentino doesn't win the elections, which he will, we don't give the dossiers to him or UEFA. But we'd have to hand them over anyway, right? It's a dossier prepared by Real Madrid, and it's a fight we should all join. Anyway, he claims he arrived with a package and gave it to Ceferin. Who believes this? Also, who is he? Did you talk to Florentino or did he tell you? Man, sometimes, dude, the media is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Well, we already know Cristina Cubero.
It's a process that has to be settled in court, of course.
Of course, it has to be settled in court. Of course, the Negreira thing, which is something that is, look, like Kollins used to say, right? Who we're going to quote now for the second part of the video, it's not presumption of innocence. It's that they were proven guilty because of some payments they made. Through documented payments to the referee's second in command, for which they would have been sanctioned, and the only thing that could save them was the statute of limitations. But that would have caused Barça to be relegated to a lower division, and UEFA wouldn't have invited them to the next, and probably not even the following Champions League. In fact, they opened a case against them, and it was only put on hold. It wasn't closed. Because Laporta even went to talk to Ceferin at his house in Slovenia with Javi and all, trying to convince him, right? But anyway, the story, the narrative that Barcelona always uses is that this has to be settled in court. No, that's a lie. That's a lie, yes. Through criminal proceedings, of course, but also through administrative channels and the recently opened ethics route, which organizations have been ignoring and looking the other way. Above all, the Royal Spanish Federation, which did not fulfill its duty, did not fulfill its obligation to forward all the information to UEFA and also to FIFA. Well, of course, that's where Barca should have been sanctioned. But they always leave everything up to the courts, and that's it. Let them say it, fine, but I've heard former Real Madrid players say, well, let's see what a judge says about this. No, it's not about what a judge says. Administratively, Barca should have been relegated. Period. That's it. Let's remember what happened with Calciopoli. Administratively, Juve was relegated. They took away, I don't know how many points. And then the criminal sentence came years later. 8 years, I think, right? Well, more than 5 for sure. And of course, but here that distinction is never made. Why? Because it's not convenient. Because they don't want to, I've heard that distinction because it's not convenient, because they don't want to let Madrid fall. Well, but anyway, look, I've been talking about this for a while now, and I don't get as angry anymore because I'm starting to And this, put it in the second part of the video, I'm starting to take life differently and the channel differently and these little things differently. Anyway, that's what the woman said.
No matter how much the president of Madrid says whatever he wants, what really matters here is justice.
Right. That's it. Their narrative.
Joan Laporta was also here in Budapest. He had a private meeting with Ceferin at a dinner that took place in a very good atmosphere for Barça.
That private meeting is just Laporta with Ceferin, which is risky, like the one he had before. I think it was with all the presidents he invited, but anyway. Honestly, sorry. I know this journalist has been around for many years and all, and maybe has some prestige among certain people, but damn, what a way to report things. Florentino says he arrived. He says he came here with a package with papers. A private meeting with Laporta is different from being with the other invited presidents. It's not the same as meeting with him alone.
There is very good communication between Ceferin, UEFA, and FC Barcelona. Laporta didn't stay for the final. Let's remember that he hasn't taken office as president yet, so he preferred to take a slightly more discreet position. Even though Ceferin invited him to this final to experience it together with UEFA in this wonderful stadium where Arsenal and PSG...
Well, so that's it. He's not staying for the final. Well, anyway, leave your thoughts about this in the comments. Let's continue to the second part of the video. This is Kollins. A few days ago, I didn't find out until yesterday, even though I had talked to Kollins about a week or so ago. And I could already kind of tell, you know, it made sense when I saw him, right? That everything had become very toxic. And that he had lost a bit of the desire to be here fighting day after day, you know? And I have to confess that the same thing happened to me too, especially since January. I mean, it's been a complicated process. But anyway, let's listen to him first, and then I'll tell you what I think and what I've been thinking of doing as well. I've thought about it. For a moment, it crossed my mind to do the same as Kollins, which is to step back for a while. I'm not going to do it, but I want to react to this and give you my point of view.
It's going to be presumably a short video, although coming from me, it's always bold to say that, or at least to venture that. And what I have to tell you is that, as you may have seen these last few days, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to switch off for a bit. I need to rest and switch off. To begin with, why? Well, because I've been working nonstop. For the past 3 years, I've worked more than I have in my entire life. I don't rest, I work. You never know about YouTubers, never. Even if you make a lot of money, which is not my case, no, don't become YouTubers because it's absolutely unbearable. It demands your full attention 24 hours a day, every single day. I work from Monday to Sunday, Saturdays, Sundays, holidays. I never get a day off. Whenever you're awake, you're thinking about the channel. It's really exhausting. In 3 years, in more than 3 years, I've hardly ever had more than 3 days off in a row. 2 days off, maybe 2 or 3 times. And well, then maybe a single day here and there. Yes, but that's it. It's exhausting. Yes.
Well, look, that's how it is. That's how it is. I would even say that about the 2 days. I actually remember that I haven't had 2 days off in a row. Maybe once. But well, we can count it on one hand in 5 years. What am I going to do with the channel? Well, yeah, maybe once or twice. 3 days? No way. I've been able to travel and all, but I drive my wife crazy with the video I have to make every so often. She feels like she's traveling with a dumb kid. Like, no, wait, what do I have to do? This now. Of course, that kind of thing affects family life. I mean, I told you at the end of last year, over Christmas of 25 going into 26, and that when this year ends, by 27, I'll change the format of this channel. I'm not going to leave, but I will change the format of this channel. It will be different. I'm not going to react to everything that happens every 3 or 4 hours because it's, as Kollins says here, absolutely agotador, exhausting. It's really exhausting. People say I have a great life working from home and everything. I used to think that too. And I don't want this to be a poor us thing either. It's just that, well, here, of course, if a miner talks to you, someone who has to go down into the mine or any other worker who puts in a lot of hours and so on, it's clear that there are people who are in worse conditions, and each of us has our own story. when Kollins said this, I really related because that's exactly how it is. But not just because of this. And now he's getting to the key point. It's also because of what this has led to, what this has turned into. Because, of course, as long as there are victories and everything is fine and all that, well, it's pleasant. It's good. I mean, you say, hey, I make the effort and all. I organize my own time, which is really good that it's not someone else organizing it for you, but you yourself. I sacrifice those days, vacation days, those days off, but I do something I like, I think. This awesome community and all, and it made up for it for a while, but there comes a time when it's not worth it anymore. And look, Colin has made the decision to step back until September. He hasn't left the channel, man. But now is when he gives the key reason why. Besides being personally exhausted, everything has become more complicated in recent months.
It's true. It's true that it's not just that, because, well, I was already expecting it. I had seen some of my friends at the pace they were going. Like I said, it's not about the money. That's not an incentive either. But there was the motivation of my passion for Real Madrid. And that made me push forward, you know? I mean, you know what I mean? Well, dedicating myself to what I love most, one of the things I love the most, which is Real Madrid. And, well, you just keep going. But what happens is that motivation has also been wearing down little by little because everything has been affecting it. The bad season or the bad seasons of Madrid have affected and dominated the general atmosphere among Madrid fans. It has affected, of course, the toxicity in Spanish football, which is exhausting. I mean, dedicating yourself to, well, basically using this channel to talk more about systemic corruption than about football.
Right? Lately, you end up making more videos about that than about football.
Are there more videos on corruption than football? Talking about that every day, getting angry every day because I take it personally, so it's exhausting, okay?
The same thing happens to me, man. I talked to Coles recently, and he said he thinks like me, that a lot of things affect you personally because you take it to heart because you love Madrid so much since you were a kid, man. And these things affect you, and that's something that wears you down month after month. Okay.
But let's say there have been enough disagreements between me and the team. I've rarely felt less connected to a team than I do today with the current squad. I don't know if it happens to you, but honestly, I just don't feel like watching. These are players where I rarely see much, maybe a few very isolated cases, but mostly I don't. I don't see the slightest bit of commitment, or at least I think this is the squad with the least commitment or involvement with the club. As far as I can remember, since I was a kid following Real Madrid, you know that I have a good opinion of those who run the club. But, well, you know, I have a disagreement on a very particular issue, which is the Negreira case and the Barcelona issue. And, well, there has also been a bit of a falling out there, which, moreover, some fans and users haven't really understood. It's a position, and I respect it. And then Madridismo, beyond this problem, Madridismo also has me a bit puzzled. Saying Madridismo is very broad, and surely it's unfair, because I'm going to talk about the different kinds of Madridismo, right? There are many types of Madridismo, all legitimate. Do they support Real Madrid in their own way? But I never thought there were, I don't know, certain behaviors that were common among Madrid fans that I thought, well, weren't really typical of this fan base. Mostly, the thing is, maybe it's me, maybe it's this wear and tear, maybe it's just the same.
I don't want to show the whole video either. It's really good. I went and watched one from about 3 days ago. He says he'll have Alvaro Martin fill in for him for now. By the way, I watched a video of him and liked how he shares his opinions and talks about many topics. He criticized Riquelme on some points, but agreed with him on others. He was even more convinced by Florentino Perez, like Kollins, who always sides with Florentino no matter who he's up against. Just look at the world we live in. This last thing he's saying, especially about Madridismo, he's seen so much toxicity just because this guy complained that the club didn't go for him back in the day. The one who has seen it the most in the world where the in which we live, and saying also the one we live in where we let a lot of things slide, a lot of things. The world he's in, giving him the lever ideas won't go all out. In Negreira's case, it will. And now suddenly, when we're not their buddies anymore, now, yes, well, there are people who buy into those things. He goes all out because he's Florentino and because it's the club. And so we don't add any nuance to anything. We don't discuss anything at all. And there are some content creators who do that and it works out well for them. Hey, well, that's fantastic, but I would need to have a strong stomach for that, because ever since I started this channel, I've always said the same thing. Here, we're going to give opinions about what I see every day. And here, there's no hero worship here. And if we see that someone is doing something that we think isn't right, we're going to say it. Well, this man has done the same thing and has received a lot of hate and, well, a lot of mudslinging, a lot of toxicity. And he has decided to step aside for a while, and that's fantastic. And I've thought the same thing, because also, and I don't want to go on much longer, Madridismo has changed. This man has seen the same Madridismo that I saw back in the day. He talks about Madridismo at the end of the video. Respect is tolerance. It's about hearing everyone out and so on. But there should be self-criticism, and that self-criticism should be respected. But the Real Madrid fans, in many cases, and this is true, have done much more. Social media has turned it into, I support this player, I support that other one. For me, Florentino can do no wrong. It's pure idolization. Real Madrid takes a backseat to certain individuals. And so, of course, it's like, wow, you really need to have a strong stomach to deal with that, or to live that life just because you know things will go well for you, not necessarily better on the channel, swallowing bitter pills and all that. And then if you don't swallow those bitter pills, but you feel like fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and you're a guy who gets your hands dirty without any problem, that's fine too. But honestly, lately, it's just gotten to me. I don't know. I've thought about it a lot. But I'm not going to do this. I respect Kollins, of course, and I totally understand him. But anyway, we're going to keep going with the channel here, and I'm going to distance myself a bit from that toxicity as much as possible. I'm going to say what I'm going to keep saying, what I see, and to all the people who have written to me saying, Miguel Serrano, that's it, no more explanations and so on. This is going to be the last one, but besides, I have other things professionally, other aspirations. Now I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to be in the United States covering the World Cup. I'll tell you a bit more later, but I have a ton of stories to share, a lot of things to do. You know that I like national team soccer, national teams, and you also know that I support Spain. Another thing I faced from part of my audience, and I'm not going to say, well, now I don't like anyone. No, because that's not the case. I mean, I've already explained this a million times, right? And besides, my profession has always been, I've been on TV for over 20 years. And what this has taught me is that we can't lump everyone together in the world television over 20 years. And what this also teaches me is that we can't put all our eggs in one basket, in the YouTube basket. For a while, I did that. And here, well, this is independent journalism. Fantastic. But of course, times change, and that's it. And even those you thought, well, a lot of people who you thought would keep supporting you and all that, they reproach you for certain things that even if you explain them, because everything that's happened to me in the last week and a half, I've explained it. Well, they just leave. They don't want to listen to you and all that. Well, that's fine then. Well, I want something else. I want something else, and I want to keep developing myself professionally in what I've always done. Like I said, without leaving the channel, I'm not going to leave it. And we're going to be here just the same videos, everything the same. But at the end of the year, we'll change the format. We'll do longer shows, more live broadcasts. And from there, we'll make short videos, collaborations, and so on. But not reacting to whether Flick farts, or if Minyamal gives Flick a dirty look, or if Gilmarine puts out a statement. I mean, no, not even if Vinicius takes a picture with his new girlfriend, not even then. I mean, no, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on what's important. But like I said, we still have to wait a few more months so that in 2027 we can do that. So that's it. Thank you very much to the loyal ones, as always, and I'll see you in the next one. And like I said, we'll be a big up reacting to the Champions League final. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hype it up. The video really needs it, especially these days. And that's it. Have a good afternoon. Bye.